Hi, I'm Ollie, and I'm going to be arguing that Britain will have greater control over its own migration if it remains a member of the European Union. Now, immigration has often been placed at the very heart of Leave EU's campaign agenda, and yet obviously it's not an issue that can be ignored. You know, the government does need to have say on what happens along its borders. But having said that, I don't think that leaving the European Union is going to give Britain any more say over its border controls. I think that rather it would complicate the scenario even further. Now, the reason that I say this is because, well, all of the senior Eurosceptic members have accepted that when we leave, if we leave, we would have to renegotiate a trade deal with the European Union. And in order to do that, they are being incredibly unrealistic if they think that we will be able to renegotiate such a deal without having to abide by some of their other regulations. And one of those regulations is almost certainly going to be quotas on net migration. Now, Jean-Claude Juncker himself has said that he is not prepared to give Britain any slack whatsoever in the event of a Brexit. The terms for our renegotiation are going to be harsh, and migration is going to be one of the things in which we are almost certainly going to have to accept a greater quota than what we are currently as an EU member. Another important point to make is that our current border deal with the European Union is in fact very favourable to us, because currently, as a member of the European Union, the border between Britain and France is at Calais, and any disputes over people entering the border into the UK are settled on the French side of the English Channel. Now, if we came out of the European Union, our border would no longer be Calais, our border would be Dover. So the crisis that has been happening in Calais for the last year and a half would be a crisis happening in Dover instead. And you can imagine what that would do to people living in the southeast of England, and how it would affect the rest of the UK as a whole. So at the end of the day, my argument is that the people supporting a Brexit may put immigration at the heart of their argument. Boris Johnson himself says that he is for immigration on a controlled level. And yet the EU is the very institution that gives us immigration on a controlled level. And without it, all we're going to have is a great deal of uncertainty on the question of controlling immigration and on controlling so many other things. So my last point is that Brexit are effectively campaigning against themselves by having immigration as part of their agenda on why to leave the European Union, and that is why I will be voting in on the 23rd of June.